Hello again. I often frequent InfoWars. It's a US website, quite right wing, and lots of conspiracy theories and things, and funny, outrageous stories. I frequent it to balance out the far left wing BBC news stories. What you'll notice in my videos is I'll almost always have a BBC News tab up somewhere. So when I went on to InfoWars, you can imagine my surprise when I hear a story that says 2 English homosexuals, one of whom was a high school teacher, allegedly raped and killed a 13-month-old boy. I thought, surely that can't be true, because I live in the UK and I would have heard about that. So naturally, I read the story, but more importantly is that I look for their sources, and it says the BBC reports. I mean, have you ever heard of Jamie Varley? Well, you can be forgiven because I haven't either. So let's take a look at the story. Here it says, man charged with murdering baby wanted to adopt, and they've put on the BBC website .co.uk, high school teacher Jamie Varley. Now, you can be forgiven for thinking, well, for people who don't live in the UK, let me just tell you that we don't have high schools in the UK. That's an American term. So when someone says high school, that means somewhere in America to us. Not only that, I've never seen this story before. You would have to go under local news, so not you wouldn't even have to, it's not England. You'd have to be in Lancashire to actually see this story. And I thought, that's strange. You'd think other papers would perhaps tell this story. So basically, what it says is a homosexual gentleman, well, obviously not a gentleman, was accused of killing a 13-month-old baby with his male partner. And I've never heard of any of these two people. So yeah, the Daily Mail did cover it, and again, high school teacher. You would think that was in America. They say okay, it says Lancashire. There's a Lancashire in the USA. But unless you actually know, unless you read a bit further and realise that there's no Blackpool in the USA, as far as I know, this was in the UK. And I presume it's not really got much coverage, simply because they're protected by the LGBTQ umbrella. So I don't know, maybe if Lucy Letby was a lesbian, we wouldn't hear about her case at all. I mean, I understand now that the death of premature babies, or any baby up to birth, is not has been decriminalised. So, but this was a 13-month-old baby, and I thought I would have heard of that. Have you heard of that? I haven't heard of that.